here trying to know where Caleb's going to go to get his information from. What website should we go to, Caleb?
That was me.
That was not how it sounds.
That was almost as good as you.
If you want to subscribe to our channel, this is what Caleb Hammer sounds like.
You guys love React content, and we got the man himself, Mr. Caleb Hammer.
I am so excited about this because we're going to do some reactions to some of your content, some of your guests, some of the stuff that you have put out there, and I am curious to hear a little behind the scenes.
Let's do it. I'm excited.
All right, here we go. Here's the first one.
They were like, where are your taxes? And I was like, well, I haven't done them the past 2 years.
What the? No.
No, but
First
listen,
expletive.
I just got a CPA
Why am I so
and
mean?
I'm doing 2022 as we speak.
Are you doing back taxes for 2021, 2020?
Yes. Well, I did 2020.
You already, okay, 2021 you're doing back?
Yeah, I just haven't gone through all my statements on 2021 yet.
Dude, why'd you not do it?
I know it's bad, but in my defense, and there's no defense, but everyone around me is like, it's okay, I don't pay taxes either.
What? Oh. They're stupid.
I know.
Dumb. They're stupid.
I'm only 2 years behind, and I'm taking care of it now.
Only 2 years behind.
Yes, IRS don't come for me.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, we're working with these CPAs. Did you file for extension for this year at least, or we just have it paid?
I checked the IRS website. They're like, oh, due in October. So I'm like, okay, cool.
I don't understand the general public's lack of fear of the IRS. Because, Brian, I learned this from you. You said, hey, they're the guys with the guns. They can literally come and take your stuff. And people are like, oh, well, all the people around me don't pay taxes, so why do I pay taxes? That's asinine to me.
That scares me for all the other streamer friends that she has.
Absolutely.
Well, and now with interest rates as high as they are, it's not only can they take your stuff, but they can charge you for all the penalties, all the interest. Don't play with our favorite taxing uncle.
So good news. She actually came for her follow-up recently.
Okay.
She caught up. I will say that she has caught up. She's struggled to put 30% aside this year for the upcoming tax season. So good side and bad side.
Yeah, so like she gets it out of it, but she's getting herself right back into that problem. And I think a lot of small business owners, entrepreneurs do that, right? Your 1099 income, whatever. Taxes are a real thing that you have to account for, and you don't start accounting for it in April. You start accounting for it the year before.
You know what this is showing me, though? I never watch my content. I am a sassy boy.
You are a
Sassy boy.
We came out with an F-bomb pretty early there.
Why has no one ever told me I'm so sassy?
Pretty fun to watch.
All right, let's do it. Let's see what's next.
They're desperate to hire right now. If any industry is desperate to hire, it is service.
And how long do you think I'm going to last there?
What does that mean? In terms of get fired, or are you existing?
Yeah, until I like raise an issue and then.
Well, if you decide to be a big boy and take care of yourself, you'll last there for a while.
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
What is maybe?
I just know somebody's going to be like, oh, you think you're a smart kid. And I am. I have a degree in information systems. So if I see a way to improve something, I'm going to suggest it. And then they're
brought up this degree in information systems that no one cares.
No one cares.
We don't care.
I know where this goes.
Why do I have a degree in information systems?
He was very angry. We don't. No. We don't care. We don't.
Should I go back to Texas Tech and just give it back to my professors? Be like, nobody gives a shit.
At that point in the context of that episode, he had brought up the fact that, anytime I would bring a question against him, he'd be like, yeah, but I have a degree in information systems.
That was like his automatic response.
Yeah, and so that was like the fourth time, and I was like, dude, no one cares. Because who cares? I know you guys are incredibly smart. I've not even once thought to ask where you guys went to school or where your degrees are from. The people that I've hired, I've never once asked. I'm like, do you do the job? Do you do it well? And that is it. But unfortunately, for so many people, it's just like all they hold on to is the piece of paper that they had decades and decades ago instead of actually accomplishing something in life. And all I was trying to get through with this dude, Mr. Brent, Mr. Taquito Man himself, was, bro, let's actually accomplish something in life, and the degree itself doesn't matter. So that's what I was trying to get through.
I've realized you use mirroring, meaning people will say something and you say it right back at them with the same inflection. It's a really cool skill set.
That was from what was the guy's book? The guy's book on negotiations.
Never
right?
Split the Difference.
Never split the difference, right?
Never split the difference.
Is that
right?
where you picked that up? That was good.
Look at it.
I love it.
Well, one second before you go. Clara, on the table out there, get the red shirt. A gift.
Oh,
Mr. Taquito Man himself.
you have taquito swag.
Taquito
Look
swag.
at
We have
that.
a large shirt in maroon for someone who
Well,
can fit that.
Bo wears medium.
This will be
anyway,
like
so this
joint
will be
custody,
perfect.
right? So we'll have to swap
No,
off.
you wear
who gets
medium, so you can wear it. You
It's
can
more
wear
of
it.
an extra medium that I prefer to wear.
Fun fact, I thought they might wear large, but they're both absolutely insanely tall in person. 3 personal loans. You have 2 cars at 22.
Oh, I'm thinking about getting a third.
Why?
About getting a
Oh,
Tesla.
no.
Why? Why? Why possibly?
Oh, you save on gas. You know, it's always nice to have 3 cars.
Of course, you guys can be
3
best
cars?
friends. It's always nice to have 3 cars.
Well, I have 1 car. The other one's for my mom. Wouldn't hurt to get another one. You know, it's always an investment.
Investment? What do you mean by
No.
investment?
You know, if one breaks down, you still have another you could drive.
Backup,
So
a
more of
spare car.
than an investment, because investment, we're talking about things hopefully going up in value. Typically, that doesn't work. Teslas, they do hold value better than other cars, but usually cars, especially in a normal car market, which we're getting closer and closer to, still not 100% there yet. Cars go down in value, my dude. So instead of an emergency fund, we just have emergency cars, I guess.
And it looked like that was news to him. Like he was this guy clueless? Like he like literally thought, oh no, me
Yeah.
buying more cars, that's sound financial decision making. That's what I ought to be doing.
So the vast majority of the people on our show, they watch our content first. They know what they're getting into. They want to come here for help. This guy, him and his friend did something kind of fun. His friend is a fan of the show, wanted to do a show, and he's like, I have the show. I'll drive you there from West Texas. I want you to come on, but you can't watch the show first.
So he had no
So
context.
this guy had no context. So it was kind of
There's
like a prank
lamb
of his friend.
being led to slaughter right there.
Yeah, but actually, I've received some Instagram DMs for him. Daniel, I think, I'm sorry, I'm bad with names, good with faces, bad with names. But received some Instagram DMs that he's actually cleaned up some good stuff. So just like many of the other episodes we've had, though we haven't had full on follow-ups or catch-ups, he actually has made progress from the last time I've heard from him. And hopefully, actual emergency funds. I
love it.
Not cars.
That's great.
You say this all the time, Brian. Cars can be financial napalm to your personal finances. They're not supposed to be considered investment assets, right?
Well, people typically buy cars like the Tesla and other things like that, luxury cars, to impress people with money they don't have. So it's not even worth going down that avenue. So that's why we always talk about 23.8. We gave Caleb, by the way, just so everybody knows, he's got a laminated copy of 23.8, so he can now pop people over the top of the head, and it won't damage, it won't wrinkle. It's permanent.
And you are going to work 40 hours a week minimum. Maybe that's at 2 different locations. I
Can I
don't
say
care.
one thing? I don't like going down. I like going up.
I don't give a Your payment is $0 right now. Anything is up from that.
Like
Yes?
The most I've made is 19, so I like to go.
I don't care. You're making $0 right now. You are making $0 right now. Above that is $1. Above that is $2. Above that is $3. $15 is higher than $0 an hour. I don't care if you want to go up right now. You're making nothing. Nothing. Please, Tyler. I just want you to survive. I want you to get out of this car debt. I want you to be able to exist and not be negative in your checking account, please. So squeaky.
So was she unwilling to go get it? She had made a certain income and she was unwilling to do anything for less than that income she was anchored to?
She was fired from a job with a certain income, so now she has $0, and she wasn't willing to get a job that wasn't more than that job, even though she couldn't afford rent or her car payment or anything, and was living in her car during oftentimes of that episode. That was the third follow-up we've had with that guest, and just like many others, very nice person. I like her. She's a great person. We have communication outside of the episode, texting, following up. We tried to get her into different photography things that she wants to do with my editor, who's also a photographer, but when it just comes to personal finances, I have not been able to get the message across. In the first episode, she recorded one of our first episodes ever. She financed her down payment on a car that they essentially sold her for twice the value, because it was the only car lot that would give her a loan that she could be qualified for, because she was in like the 400,
So they ripped her
500
off.
credit
Yeah.
score. Ripped her off completely.
Charged her
And it was-
more, finance the down payment, finance the car itself.
So it was it was like $1,000 a month car payment plus an additional $1,000 for the down payment financing a month. And it was brutal. And they, of course, made it look nicer because they billed her weekly for it.
Oh, well, then it's
It was
affordable
so
on a
bad.
weekly basis.
Yeah, and I tried to get her to get rid of the car many times. And Tyler, if you're watching this, I mean, you're great. I still love you as a person, but please, we need to get rid of that car still.
What does it make you feel like when you see your reaction on that? Because that one was fire. I mean, when you, what does that make you feel watching yourself?
I mean, I'm just me. And that's just me caring because that's the third time I've had her on the show and I just can't get it across. And that's just how I am. That's how I am in any normal interaction throughout my life in general. If we get dinner after this and we get in like a topic that I'm passionate about, I'll probably be like that in public, embarrassing. But I just don't know it until I see it. And I'm like,
awesome though. I mean, now I gotta tell you, it's much more fun to watch it than to be sitting next to Caleb when he's
Sure.
doing it. Because when he's doing it, I'm like, oh, what am I supposed to do? Where can I hide? I mean, it was very on point.
at least I didn't have to slam the table while you guys were there.
It was
That's
good
right.
stuff.
There was no table flipping.
24 years old, $79,623, a payoff amount for something. What is this something?
Something.
That is a private student loan.
Private student loan?
Yeah.
Well, it's on forbearance, so they did give you oh dang, and then it's at 7%.
Yeah. So I haven't paid a dollar of my student loans, and that's why I've been trying to kind of situate myself.
He's smiling.
So my logic on this, since there's 0% on right now, it makes no mathematical sense to pay it, even if it is higher interest later in the 7% context. Probably want to pay off. But that's as long as the money we would put towards it is going towards investing. Was all the money you would normally put towards it going towards investing?
Yeah.
Every single cent?
Little arbitrage.
Absolutely not.
Then you did it wrong. No, of course, yeah. He, all the money was going to. Sorry, money guy channel.
We'll put a cash sound there.
Bull honky.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, I'd be like, okay, if you're not going to do it well, 0% pause. Let's at least be getting it invested, in your future, everything like that. But it wasn't. So it's like, I mean, that balance. I'm blinking on
What
what
was the
his degree.
Like how, for the folks, because you're interacting with folks who are like not in a great financial situation.
Yeah.
Like they're not. Are student loans something that you see a lot of? Like someone comes in and student loans are just like egregious because unless he has like a pretty impressive degree in some sort of professional service, $80,000 for student loans seems like a lot.
Yes,
absolutely. Do you see that a ton with the guests on your show?
Unfortunately, most people that come on actually have federal student loans. Most people.
Okay.
Federal student loans isn't the majority, but when they come on, I think he was actually lucky for his 7% interest rate compared to a lot of the other private student loans, Sally Mae type interest rates that we see. So I wish I could remember his degree. Recording 6 episodes a week, I try to remember as much as I can. I just can't remember what degree it was in, or if it was through a private institution, for his education. I'm not sure, but the fact that money that could have been going towards it, well as the 0%, was probably just going out to eat and everything like that.
It was consumed instead of saved and invested.
And we recognize that the student loan landscape, the higher education landscape is different. And that's why we have some specific rules that we try to give to folks when it comes to student loans. Like one of those rules being, when you take out student loans, you don't want your total student loan amount to be more than what you expect your first year salary to be. So was this guy making at least $80,000 a year at his job?
Not at that time.
So perhaps he might not have been following the rules necessary. Do you counsel folks when it comes to student loans to approach that way? To think about before they take out student loans, or by the time they get to you, it's already over.
Well, by the time they get to me, it's usually over. But the way I try to talk about it is the American culture of the addiction of you have to go to the best school ever and borrow whatever it takes to get whatever degree it takes. Like I went for a music degree and I dropped out. I'm everything you should probably not when it comes to going for school. And I borrowed for it and took out Sally Mae private student loans for it. So don't be me. But I paid it off. And what I try to tell people is like, okay, you don't have to go to college right after graduation if you don't know what you want to do. And if you don't know what you want to do, but like you're insistent on going to college, a couple years of community college, get the gen eds out of the way. And then if, that doesn't, if that's not your path, trade schools are good, certifications are good. Sometimes one of those alone might not make it depending on economic conditions. I know certifications right now can be a little harder to get into the door in the harder tech market right now. but it's certainly better than nothing.
Sure.
And a 6-month certification versus a 4-year degree that you could be spending who knows how much
Tens of
money.
thousands of dollars
It's at
on.
least worth considering, but certainly having that in addition to a 4-year degree is also really good. So there's a lot of avenues to go down, but we've had people on this show on financial audit where it's like, I'm going to school because my parents say that's the most important thing ever.
Right.
That's not how we should be determining our entire future and borrowing thousands and thousands of dollars to do it. And if we do go to school, okay, let's figure out the degree we want to do. Let's figure out the path to go there. Let's do community college. Let's try to cash flow it if we can. If we can't, release, applying to every single scholarship we can. And if we have to take out loans, we're not going down the private route. We're going to cheaper community college. Austin Community College here is super cheap, easy to cash flow for most people, honestly. And then once you go to that 4-year institution, we're doing in-state. We're doing in-state.
Keeping the cost down.
Yeah, keeping the cost down. And if you have to extend it by an extra year, maybe by taking a little less credits and working as much as you can through that with a side job as well to make it more cost effective, like that can have a good return on your investment as well. It really depends on everyone's situation, their costs, where they come from. But that's rough when we just go off the, because mom and dad want me to go to school. You're going to be like one of my first guests who her dad wanted her to go to Baylor out of state, borrowed $150,000 to go there private.
And then
dad
he ghosted.
disappeared.
Yeah.
And now it's already ballooned to $250,000. That was a year ago, probably like $300,000 today in private student loans that she'll never be able to pay off and will never be forgiven via bankruptcy. So what is there to do? You have tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars in credit card debt, $1,000 minimum monthly payment there, $227 minimum monthly payment there, $123 minimum monthly payment here, losing thousands of dollars in interest, and we decide smart bulbs are more important?
Yeah, at that point, I did not think about it.
I love these guys.
This is before I started watching your show. What we're usually fed when we look at social media and TikTok, and I'm guilty of that, is that, hey, the American life is like, live on debt. Just make your monthly payments and pay for your mortgage, pay for your car payments, and that's just the American way. And I got really sucked into that. I was like, okay, I'm making enough money. I can easily pay $200 a month here and there.
And you've seen what happens. Making money doesn't always
it does not
sustain.
Yeah, the biggest thing is I had a job for 4 years. I was making good money. Like, I had no reason to believe it would ever go away.
I love that couple. They're a local couple. They're really cool. They're actually doing pretty well overall. But the thing that was interesting about that situation is they have combined finances. They communicate about their finances. But for that situation, he went and purchased them without having the conversation when there's still bad debt to pay off. So it was just like he went, did his own thing.
Without them being on the same page.
Without them being on the same page. And she wasn't upset about it. They do have a good relationship.
Yeah.
But when there was bad debt to pay off that, by the way, he brought into the marriage. She didn't bring anything into the marriage.
And he was the
we
one
shouldn't point blame, but then he's, of course, the one that I can point blame on him going and spending money that was not needed to be spent on a house that came with light bulbs. Yeah.
I think it's wild that we are taught, or we are inundated with this idea, I can afford anything in the world 1 month at a time.
Yeah.
$200 here.
Rent in your life.
Here. You'll never own anything. You'll never get out of that. And I think so many people fall prey to that fallacy. And I think that's why we do this. I think that's why we have the channels we do, is so that people stop believing that lie and don't, because he seemed like a nice guy. He didn't seem clueless. He didn't seem like he was unintelligent, but he fell in the same consumerism trap I think a lot of Americans fall into.
It's better to be rich than to look rich. So don't fall into the traps of renting your life instead of actually building and owning your life and doing things on your terms.
But there's one thing you guys did not consider. If there's high interest debt to pay off, why would I do that when I can get light bulbs that turn purple?
Oh, wow. Well, you didn't mention the color was purple. That changes everything.
I loved all the animations though. Was that like blowing your mind? The music and animations being dropped.
Yeah, I was like, this is dramatic. I think you deserve to live an incredible life because you're a human on this planet, and I want you to live there. And so, though I'm a little more critical and I go a little intense, it's because I want you to have the remaining decades of your life be fantastic. And what we just talked about here, what did we say? In total, it would be like it'd be 3/4 of a year for you to be debt free and have a fully funded emergency fund.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like, oh my goodness, I don't care if you're not having the most fun for the next 3/4 of a year. for the rest of your life to be incredible. You know, I am very hard and I'm very tough because that's the conversation I wish someone had with me a decade ago. That's just how I'm receptive to things. Might not work for everyone, but the people who come on watch the content anyway, so they know what it's all about and what they're getting into. So this is when I feel like I care about someone's situation more than they do. It drives me crazy, and I want.
Does that happen a lot? Does it?
I think so. A lot of people
had
aren't
empathy.
fully accepted.
You could sense your empathy on that one though. You weren't bearing down on him when you were just sharing that.
Yeah,
You-
which
I
is
felt like
also
you were
what a
sharing
lot
your
of
heart.
people only get watching the short clips
Yeah.
versus the more full episodes where we get deep into things. But I really, really care and want these people to succeed more than I think anyone realizes. And it just, we recorded an episode of an update he's not doing great, but he's doing slightly better. And even that, like, I'm fired up after the episode that he's doing better and he has a path to get out. It's so exciting. So when people aren't willing to sacrifice for like 3/4 of a year or whatever I said it was there, this is like, it truly hurts me because I see that their life is worth it. And he could have decades of his life left of just financial security and freedom to do what he wants if he just temporarily sacrifices. And I look very cute with short hair and I need to get a haircut.
Right? I'm noticing you're a much younger guy right there. Look, you've been doing this channel for 10 years, it seems.
Beard's the...
But I've noticed, I mean, you brought it up. I had the same hairdo since the 3rd grade. And Caleb, you're changing hairstyles. It seems like you have
A lot of different
biannual
Calebs
hair
here.
changes.
I never know what I'm doing.
Pretty wild. It's pretty cool.
I'm not angry at that. That's not something to be angry about. I'm upset that you went back to it. I am
Well, I was
upset that
just
so
bored,
much
so I
money
kinda
went out.
like-
Yeah, I know, but that's all it starts, man. You
Yeah.
spent
Gambling.
$11,000 last year at 18.
Yeah.
At 18 on gambling,
Yes.
doing it now. I mean, it's just like I don't want you
Well,
to
I
head
think
down
better
that
now
path. This
than
scares
later,
me.
you know?
It scares. No, I think I think don't do it now and don't do it later is what I think. And I think also if there are addictive tendencies and you recognize it, make sure you're doing like a
Well, I do
group
like
thing or therapy.
a group thing. I'm not about to. I don't.
Why? What? What's wrong with that?
I don't know. I kind of like to keep my things to myself in terms of that.
But
Because
does
I
that
feel
always work though? I would say potentially not because you
You
just
don't want the
spent
accountability.
because you just spent $150 out there. I'd say maybe not. Calm down, Caleb. The dude's very young, so obviously he has a lot to grow into when it comes to. I mean, I was the dumbest mother effer when it came to finances at his age as well. So I can't blame him for that. So I think that conversation was critical for him because just like I said, that's when I wish someone had a conversation with me. So hopefully that starts putting him on the right path. But yeah, what made me a little afraid is, I mean, that dude is working so many hours a week. It was something like 60, 70, 80 hours a week plus school.
Oh, gosh.
But a lot of it was to fund that
gambling addiction.
And what I was seeing going through his statements were some like online gambling things. And I'm like, you are too young for this. And actually, since then, we've recorded an episode of someone who has lost tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars in gambling. And they're in their later 20s. And that's what I fear that dude is heading down. And I don't want him to. He has such a long life to live. And if we could correct it now, I mean, that's saving a life, honestly, in my opinion.
Yeah. And accountability. That's what, because I mean, I think when you have addictions like that, you do need a accountability of somebody saying, hey, are you staying away from this dangerous behavior? Because that's the type of stuff. There's a reason why every gambling thing you see has those 1-800 numbers on it. Is because that is what they're trying to avoid. That's scary stuff. It really is.
If I could tell him something, I would tell him to go to moneyguy.com/resources and download our wealth multiplier. Because if he could see for an 18-year-old what that $11,000 could turn into, you know, we have these koozies that say this $1 beer cost me $88 because that's how powerful your dollars can be. For an 18-year-old, it's even more valuable than that. So that $11,000 he wasted on gambling could have literally been hundreds of thousands of dollars for his future self, and he doesn't even realize that.
But let's say positive here in the fact that is horrible. However, at 18 now, because he's still probably under 20, you can do anything at that age. There's so many avenues for success that you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to get everything right. I think there's a lot of opportunity as long as he just knows where the rail that he just can't touch is.
But I'm sorry to be negative on the same side. Because of his age, he's incredibly impressionable when it comes to a lot of things financially. And $11,000 in 1 year.
Yeah.
When what? 58% of Americans who have a job make less than or $30,000 or less. It's $11,000 at
That's
18.
That's a lot of money.
That's
a
hard.
lot of money. But here's what I love. I love because of people like Caleb Hammer. You are out there preaching the good news about making sound financial management. I think that what your channel and everything that you do is hopefully light for these young people or people that have made bad decisions, that just because they made a bad decision, they don't have to stay there. They can change it. They can impact their future. They can move along. And I'm just so appreciative that you're doing it. I mean, you probably, I don't know what, the most entertaining guy on YouTube right now, right? Right? And it's amazing what you're able to communicate. Hopefully it really is changing people's lives.
I hope so. There's no point of doing this if it doesn't.
Let's see. Well, if you're trying to know where Caleb's going to go to get his information from, what website should we go to, Caleb? How was that?
That
good?
was this Caleb Hammer.
Was that not good?
That was me.
That was not good.
That was me.
That was not how it sounds.
That was almost as good as you.
If you want to subscribe to a channel, this is what Caleb Hammer sounds like.
Allow me to introduce myself.
I thought I was nailing that thing. Okay,
no, it was great.
We'll go back to Morgan Freeman impersonation. I'll do Bloody Beatles, and we'll just. But I was trying. I felt like I'd missed the opportunity all day to go high and show you that I could do it. So I want to take my shot. I'll keep practicing.
Shoot your shot.
So,
if people want to find you, how do they find you?
That's
how
what I was trying to do.
Financial auditor Caleb Hammer on YouTube. Yeah.
Dude, we've had a blast. Thanks for coming on. Guys, thanks for all of you guys supporting all the content we create, plus even all of our reacts that we've done on Caleb's content. We knew you would love this show, so we made it happen. Money Guy team, out.